And now, it's time for the Freedom Feens Agenda live call-in show. Have you swallowed too much of the state's poison? The Freedom Feens will stick their fingers down your throat and hold your hair back while you hurl. Call in before they get droned. Live right now on Adam Curry's No Agenda Global Radio.
Yo.
Neema Feens.
What it do?
What it do? Yo. I like that opening ad we made, you and me and my wife, DJ.
Yeah. It was fun.
I like the double entendre, too, of like, call in before they get droned live on Adam Curry's, like, we're going to get droned live, and you can listen.
Right. Yeah, that makes people excited.
Yeah.
I'm here to see the droning. I wonder if that's what they'll do in the future. You know how they used to do public executions, public hangings back in the day. I wonder if they'll do public dronings.
Drone on pay-per-view. That's how they can finance it.
Yeah, live drone. So with extra special splatter vision. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, I could see someone doing that. You know, some Democrats from Ohio trying to pass a bill to outlaw concealed carry.
Yeah, I saw that. I mean, it's one of those sneaky, I guess it's not very sneaky, but they thought they were being slick with it because it doesn't come out and say, hey, no more permits, no more concealed carry. It just says that you have to get explicit permission from anybody's property, no matter who they are, if you're going to carry your gun there. So businesses, homes, land, all that. You would have to talk with the owner ahead of time, which basically effectively makes it pointless. When I was reading that, though, I was thinking of something you said, that, you know, because it's kind of like if you're an anarchist, you're like, well, it's somebody else's private property. But you said, no, I carry a 2-foot bubble of private property with me wherever I go. You know, since I own me, I own that it includes this sort of boundary around me, my buffer zone.
Yeah.
So, man, we've been busy. We've had a busy couple weeks, huh?
Yep, I'm getting feedback from people about the sound.
About the sound quality?
So it's a little scratchy.
Little scratchy.
I turned down, and it takes about 30 seconds for them to catch up because there's a buffer.
Okay.
So I turned down the output, so maybe it's not
the master output?
Yeah, maybe it's not as scratchy now. Maybe it sounds better. Fine.
Okay.
Yep.
You know, that's one thing about butt. It is good for what it does, but I feel like it needs to have some kind of input gain, you know, because if you can see the little VU level, it'll show you when it's clipping. But what's the point of knowing you're clipping if you can't actually decrease the input in butt software wise?
Well, you know, actually, we know the guy who created butt, so we should just ask for that. It's not like we have to, like, you know, have a campaign to get Microsoft to do that.
Yeah. Thank God.
I'm making a note. Butt input. I will improve the butt input.
Best note ever.
Demanding. Yeah. Someone says we sound great now. Your brother, Frank Navid Vedadi
Frizzle
says. Frizzle says we sound great now. Speaking of Frizzle, Crizzle is the guy who makes our buttons, and we just ordered more Feens buttons. We were going to not re-up, but we started selling them really a lot, and we're out. So, well, not out. We have 4 left. So,
yeah. And there's new designs. So there's buttons, Freedom Feens buttons 2.0, pretty much.
Yeah, because the Guns and Weed ones were kind of small, kind of hard to read. There's too much information on too small of a surface. So we have ones now that have worms on them, and one that just says gunsandweed.com.
Yeah. White text on a black background, which I think is good, man. I mean, that was the whole point of titling it that way. Was it's a title that makes you go, "What? That sounds fun," or "Ew, I can't believe that."
Well, I used to have a button that I bought in the East Village when I went there as a teenager to some like punk record store and T-shirt store back in the like late 70s. And I bought this button that said health, food, and heroin. And I thought that was so funny.
Nice.
That my band Bomb, I wore it forever, and it got a lot of comments, you know, both ways. And my band Bomb wrote a song called Health, Food, and Heroin after that title. Because we were kind of like, that was our diet at that point.
Health, food, and heroin?
Me and the drummer, you know.
What kind of health food?
There's good food, man. Good, you know. Well, I don't know, lots of burritos, but fresh burritos in the Mission District of San Francisco. But
okay.
You know, and then at some point, you know, I mean, I used to be on the the heroin diet where like, you know, my exercise was doing, you know, 1,000 push-ups a night on a different woman. And then when I hit 30, I got sober and, you know, put down the spoon and picked up the fork, as they say, and parked myself in front of a computer and started changing the world from my bedroom instead of from clubs. And I reached a lot more people actually and done more good, I think. But I put on a lot of weight. But then I invented the Feens diet with my wife, and I've lost 19 pounds in 6 weeks while eating yummy, yummy, yummy food, which I'm going to do a blog post when I hit 20 pounds.
Maybe they're looking at that big butt of yours.
Maybe they are.
Was that you?
Yeah, that was me.
How'd you do that, man? That was amazing.
Magic.
Well, you're like the morning zoo crew in Shut.
Yeah. Or maybe instead of morning zoo crew,
You're back now at the Jack Off Hour. This is DJ Easy Dick.
I'm DJ Easy Dick. You remember that? Were you a Snoop Dogg fan? No,
man.
Frank knows what I'm talking about.
I don't think I'm going to like this. Yeah, actually, that kind of segues into a topic.
Yeah. What topic?
Well, where we're going with the Feens. It's kind of interesting because you left mainstream media. You used to be an anchor and reporter for an ABC affiliate and a CBS affiliate? Mm-hmm. In Wyoming and Washington State. You went to college for that. You were like, I want to do this so bad. I'm going to go into debt to learn to do this. And you went to J school, journalism school. Yeah. And, you know, I mean, I think it culminated with, you know, if you go to the Freedom Feens blog right now, there's a post you did yesterday of you voluntarily being tased by Wyoming police officers on TV. So you were like, these people want to tase me and tell me what to write. I'm out of here. And you quit it. And you're like delivering pizzas now and working as a wedding DJ, which is cool because you're doing your own thing. So, you know, I really think you've been talking about like putting in a lot of, you know, the ability to play clips from the day's news and comment on them. And I'm like, no, man, we got a cool thing here. And I think we're going to fight about this a lot on the air. And I think, you know, people will give us their feedback and they'll say, I like Neema's idea. I like Michael's idea. And I'll be like, I don't give a shit. I'm not doing this for y'all. You know, it's kind of like Jimi Hendrix. You know, you're all going to think I'm pretty haughty here saying that we're like Jimi Hendrix, but we are. We're like the Jimi Hendrix podcasting. Jimi Hendrix got kicked out of a bunch of early bands for being too wild and being too Jimi Hendrix. He got kicked out of Little Richard's band for wearing clothes that were flashier than Little Richard and playing flashier than Little Richard wanted him to. He wanted him to sit back and just comp on the chords and be a good little background slave. And he's like, no, I don't want you to tell me dance, slaves, dance. I want to get out and be Jimi Hendrix. So, you know, I think we've built a pretty sizable audience being the Freedom Feens and being the guys who, you know, psychedelically, conocentrically, parenthetically go from this to that to this to that through time, loophole worms without even like really talking about the daily news very much at all. Everybody else does the daily news in the Morning Zoo Crew so well. Why would we want to become more like that when we've invented this thing that's great?
We don't have to, but it's nice to have the ability. Plus, sometimes...
But I wanted to do hood rat stuff with my friend.
Yeah, sometimes I just want to do hood rat stuff with you, Michael.
Man,
sometimes.
I'm going to have to get together with my wife and orchestrate and record a really high-quality 4-part harmony bump that I can play that says, Neema's trying to sound like everyone else.
You know, you came up with the idea first, so don't act like I was all like, I really want to do this. I really want to do this. You were like, man, Adam Curry does this cool stuff every now and then. I was like, well, you know, if Adam can do it, we could do it. It was mostly just a proof of concept to show that I could with the gear that I have. Not that we have to do it, but it's fun every now and then, man.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, I often say things and then later recant them and stand behind them. I mean, I said about a year ago, I was like, Neema, you're talking about non-politics so much. I don't like it. You're stealing time on the Feens and talking about other things.
You're like e-cigarettes? What does that have to do with liberty?
I know. And now I'm like, politics? I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about e-cigs and Jimi Hendrix and conocentral parenthetical worms. Worms.
What's a parenthetical worm?
Well, it's sort of like a nematode turned inside out in kind of an Escher drawing kind of way within 3 and 4 dimensions, somewhere on the cusp of the 3rd and 4th dimension in the digestional tract of your cerebral cortex.
Are they like the worms that were in Fry's brain in Futurama that made him smarter?
Yes.
We're those kind of worms.
Yes, worms.
My ancestors came over on the sandwich.
What's that?
Yeah,
man?
you're right. You're right, man. I mean, we already play clips. We just play them through our vocal cords. So
yeah. I mean
that's the thing for me is like we do that all the time anyway. We always quote stuff or reference things. We just do it with our own voice. But sometimes you don't have that special essence. And I know it's the Fiend essence, but sometimes you want to hear Marge Simpson say it instead of me saying "Shut up."
I don't know,
Becky.
man. I guess so. But I kind of look like it's like if when Coltrane and Thelonious Monk were sitting around trying to invent, harmonic jazz, if the producer had said, no, man, no, no one's going to listen to that. You got to like put in 4 chord, like 1-5-4 progression blues in that.
Yeah, but it could also be like when Mr. C and Big Daddy Kane were rocking shows together, and his DJ Mr. C was sampling stuff that people knew, or Girl Talk that samples catchy adult rock pop tunes, and then puts the dirtiest, grimiest hip hop over.
I like that, and I want to welcome people to the Freedom Fiends agenda, where conflict is the essence of drama. Y'all are basically listening to like me and Neema have a producer's argument that normally wouldn't be broadcast. But I think that's good radio.
Yeah, man. I mean,
and I can see what you're saying. It's like, basically now that you put it in those terms, you're saying, I'm a rap artist. I use samples and build something new out of it. And I'm saying, no, don't use other people's material.
Yeah, you IP Nazi.
It's not even an IP Nazi. It's like that's not creative. You're not playing an instrument. Like musicians said when they felt threatened by samplers in about 1980.
Yeah. Did people used to be threatened by synthesizers too? Because I seem to have heard something like that.
They tried to pass legislation. Someone actually introduced legislation. Yeah, it was. The musicians union was really threatened by them because one of the first things that synthesizers could kind of do well was imitate strings. And before that, to get strings on a recording, you had to hire,
an orchestra,
10 to 20, 10 to 90 musicians who were all union scale member, making $80 an hour for 3-hour minimum, back in the 70s, $80.
So they were freaking Luddites. They were upset about the fact that we had cars instead of horses and buggies. Because they were horse and buggy manufacturers, basically. It was the people who were making money off the fact that you had to hire 10, 12 people.
Someone said that we sound fine now, but we're all only on the left channel. Why would that be? That'd be on my end, wouldn't it? Let's see.
Yeah, you're outputting the master, so make sure it's not just their headphones.
Yeah. Well, if Sir Gitmo Slave wants to I don't know. He's a tech guy. But, I'm actually looking at it, and the butt is saying that it's only left channel. Maybe I need to jiggle this input. How's that? There we go. Wait, that worked, but then it popped out.
Jiggle it.
Oh, I see what it is. I got this. Okay, we unplugged it. Let me plug it back.
You got to sort of spread the butt apart and then squeeze it in. Oh.
Okay, say it again. We got to spread the butt apart and do what?
And squeeze it in. Make sure it's in there nice and tight, Michael.
Yeah, we're good now. Let's see. Okay, that's down. That's too much. That's too loud. Now we're live radio, people. Live radio. All right. How's that sound now, Mr. Sir Gitmo Slave? How we be? What we be like? Sound good? Sound good? Yeah. Does it sound good?
Yeah.
Or is it distorted? Yeah. Okay. So, anyway, okay, I will co-sign your attempt to have input in my idea of reinventing media. No, it's us, man. It's us. It's all good.
Well, what's your idea then? Then pitch it. Why does playing samples every now and then not fit into your unified theory of media?
It does, but the thing is, I don't want it to be Morning Zoo Crew, unless we're making fun of the Morning Zoo Crew. But Adam Curry and John Dvorak do that so effing well, man. They do the anti-Zoo Crew. And, he came up through traditional media. He came up through MTV, which was the new media at the time. But it's really, it's beyond the boring traditional media even before he quit. I mean, they used to play, at least they played music when he was quitting. They don't play music anymore. But, yeah, man, I think that podcasting is the last refuge of scoundrels, and I want to keep it that way and psychedelicize it. And I guess psychedelicizing it could include a funk clip or a, funky quote now and then. What I don't want to do is say, here's a clip of 30 seconds of what Barack Obama said in the argument on TV last night with Mitt Romney, and then talk about it for 20 minutes. I don't want to do that.
I don't want to do that either. creepy stuff, psychedelic stuff. What about like sound samples too, but like not like Morning Zoo crew sound effects, like a slide whistle or something, but like
I don't know. What do you think, man?
I think so.
Yeah. You think you're so special with all your little effects?
Yeah. No.
Yeah. This is the Central Scrutinizer. This channel has been taken over by the Department of Homeland Security, and you must stop transmitting now.
You're not wet enough. I could still hear the man. I could still hear the man behind the devil.
Yes, this is the Central Scrutinizer. The Freedom Feens agenda has been terminated by the Department of Media.
Oh, really?
Stop transmitting immediately.
Did you remember to terminate D's?
Huh?
Did you remember to terminate D's?
Yeah. Man.
D's nuts.
It's all good. D's nuts. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, enough of that crap.
I telegraphed that from a mile away. All right.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can have our vision of our grand unified theory of podcasting come to fruition. Michael, so yeah, take us in these concentric parenthetical worm circles you speak so highly of.
Well, I want to talk about the presidential debate last night. No, I just want to.
So funny.
No, we didn't see it. We were busy doing another show. We didn't hear it. I didn't hear any of it. All I got to say is a quote from Jim Code that I really like, which is, "Every election is just two millionaires fighting over who loves the common man more."
Yeah.
Which I think is going to be the name of this episode.
I didn't watch it because I didn't feel like I had to, because like I said on the other show we were on last night,
Jack Johnson and John Jackson argue about their 1% titanium tax.
Well, it's not even that specific. They never argue about anything of actual substance. I mean, they never even get as specific as their 1% titanium tax. They just
jobs, roads, infrastructure.
Yeah, they just spit out platitudes and various talking points, and I don't know. I feel like you don't learn anything from watching those. It's at best watching two people who aren't good at debate try to argue with each other, but there's never even enough conflict to make it interesting. Like, and who are you going to root for, right? I mean, as an anarchist, if you're watching some kind of conflict thing like a boxing match or a football, you can at least feel some sort of connection somehow, but you feel no connection to Mitt Romney, no connection to Barack Obama, unless you're a brainwashed slug, which I'm not. So no value in it at all.
Yeah, I'm over in the Feens chat. You should see what people are saying about you on Adam.
What are they?
Well, I'll send it to you.
Okay.
I don't know. They're really not saying anything. I just want to get you on there too, because it seems like we got everything else under control finally.
All right. Yep. We were up against the wire today to get the show not on, man. But
you thought it was an hour later, man. I called you. I'm like, we're on in 20 minutes. I think you wanted to test some audio stuff.
Yeah. Well, because it's all like, I thought it was 3:30 my time, but it was 3:30 Eastern time. And last time we thought it was 3 o'clock, which was 2 o'clock my time, and it wasn't. So I guess I haven't.
Because Adam just had a lot more to say.
Yeah.
So it's 3:20, which is later than he's ever gone. Of course, the first day we're on is he does something he's never done, which is fine. It's his channel. He can do what he wants. But yeah, we're on. We have a real start time now. It's 3:30 atomic clock, New York time, straight up. And yeah.
Okay. I think I'm on the chat room now. I thought you didn't want to do the chat room.
Well, I didn't want to do it because we had too many other things to do, but I have it open in, I have like 7 windows open and stuff. So, I mean, that's how we work. That's how we roll, man.
Yeah. I see. Okay. Yeah. Frank just joined. What's up, Frank?
Yo, Frank.
Where do you type stuff in?
In the bottom. There's a little white space at the bottom there.
Oh, it's so tiny.
It's so tiny. Adam, your space is tiny.
Here it is. Okay. I see it.
So I want to talk more about my plans for libertarian domination through media. So we've done a couple interviews lately. Well, actually, we've done, I wouldn't say interviews. We've been invited to guest host on a couple podcasts, which are done by really cool people, and I don't want to insult them, but I want to use them as examples without saying who they are, of what we didn't like about it and what we're not going to do in the future. Both times we went on, first one was a call-in show, and it was fine, and it was great, except there were 5 people on, which was okay because they let us push them around and talk, which is what I want to do. Basically, it's like our time is so valuable, and I consider that the Feens have become such a commodity that I think we can determine some terms of what we're going to do instead of just, yeah, man, we'll come on and be talked over for 2 hours when we have better things to do. And the second show was like 7 people on, and one of them was drunk, according to what he was putting in the chat room, and people were calling him drunk, and he was, not letting us talk all that much. And then they had one caller, and the caller like didn't even know we were on. He wasn't calling to talk to Feens. He called in and started talking about his bunions or something, man. And you think
it was a medical problem? I don't think it was his bunions.
It was more serious, but it was like, finally I was like, do you have any questions for the Feens? And he asked some questions about music. It was good. What you didn't see. You didn't see the text chat in Mumble between the moderators, did you? The admins?
No, I did.
They were like, cut this guy, dump this guy, cut this guy, dump this guy. And I'm like, then he started talking to you about music, and I'm like, nah, let him go. He's engaging with Neema. And then I got him on, and I was like, so do you have a question about the Freedom Fiends or anything for the Freedom Fiends? And he was like, well. And I'm like, well, do you know what the Freedom Fiends is? And he says, no. And I said, dump him. And they dumped him. Which sounded really rude because it was like me telling them what really I wanted was for me to have the button. So I don't want to do an interview unless I have the button, my finger on the button in everything that can possibly mean.
Well, you don't even have to have your finger on the button. You can have it on the keyboard, man. If you would have typed, dump him. I'm sure they would have dumped him.
I mean, there's no way for them to really like give me the button, but I guess I could have in Mumble. I think if they'd given me admin, I could have dumped him. But I don't need to be the one dumping. I only want to go on shows where they want to talk to us, people want to talk to us, and the moderators moderate. Because I don't want to go on and do a freeform bullshit thing. It's kind of like, and that sounds like, hey, man, you got to be more open than that or whatever. But it's like, we're rock stars, man.
I thought you wanted us to be freeform, man. I thought that was the whole point.
You and I do freeform well. When there's 5 other people in the mix and one of them's drunk and one of them's English is a second language and there's a caller who doesn't know what's up, it's not the freeform I'm looking for. So, basically, you said, well, how can we tell people that without sounding like dicks? And I'm like, we just tell them that. We say, you want us to be on your show? We're a valuable commodity. Here are our demands. It's voluntarism. It's free exchange of ideas. It's an agreement. It's a contract. If you had like Lou Reed come on the Tonight Show, or like Iggy Pop or Bruce Willis come on the Tonight Show as the guest, and he was the featured guest, and he was on there for 10 minutes talking about whatever he talks about, and like let's say Skeet Ulrich was the guest before him, and like if Skeet Ulrich like jumped up and said, hey, I don't want to listen to what this movie star has to say, I want to show you like YouTube videos of my burping contest, and just monopolized it, they would not put up with that, man. Like somebody on the set, some producer would get out the fucking sheep's crook and pull that guy off, and that's what I want.
I wouldn't blame Skeet Ulrich for having a chip on his shoulder. I mean, his parents named him after Skeet. So they were like, you mean nothing to us. You mean as much as the skeet that you came from.
Which means spunk, if you white people don't know.
Maybe people don't know what spunk is either. It means jism or semen or the white stuff that comes out when you come.
It's also what sleazy boys down on the corner say to women when they go by. Skeet, 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 skeet. Skeet, skeet. It basically means I want to
skeet on you.
I want to cover you with my manly essence. Yeah, well, see, I want to cover the world with the manly essence of the Freedom Fiends, and the way that the last 2 shows that we've guest hosted have not. They've basically been like, okay, you sit over in the corner and cry and masturbate. You're not going to skeet anybody. And I'm not going to be in that position, man. I'm not.
I don't know. I felt like they were stroking us a little bit, man. They were laughing at our jokes, and there were some really good points of that. They said it was a great show, and I thought it was a great show for the most part. You're right. The caller, there was some issues, and there was, I actually dumped out of the show for like 15 minutes, so I didn't get to hear.
Did you? Intentionally?
No. Something happened with my sound card, man. I couldn't hear anything, and I wasn't sure if anybody could hear me, so I restarted the computer and, did some troubleshooting. It took about 10, 15 minutes. Maybe that's when you were saying the self-proclaimed drunk person was having problems or cutting people off, because I didn't really get that.
You know what? It got bad. You weren't around. I thought you were around and you just couldn't get a word in edgewise. No, it got bad, man. And maybe I'm more sensitive and more demanding and more egotistical and more. But it's also like I have more of a vision, man. I don't know. You're an easygoing guy, which is a good thing, especially with someone like me who's a type A personality, power driver. But doing that is what's enabled me to get a lot of crap done. And I don't put up with, and I'm not talking about you or them. It's like, and I've ranted recently about like agorists who don't do business well and things like that. I cut no quarter, man.
Yeah. Rico Feen brings up the fact that the caller, he was like, the Feens, like the music band.
Yeah,
we should call any music we do in the future the Feens music band. I love that phrase, band.
It's too bad the term grassy knoll or the brassy knoll was taken in fiction, but we don't have any brass. So you probably have some synthesizer samples.
Yeah, it's hard to get good brass samples. I mean, I guess I could try harder to look.
That's part of the beauty of brass. I mean, there's like, synthesizers can do a lot that instruments can do, but not quite perfectly yet. And there's something about the power of a bunch of horns blasting you in the face, which is part of the reason I love that show Treme. There's so much of it, but it's like,
well, I mean, you could sample it. Like you can have somebody record somebody blasting horns in your face and then play that back. But even then, I think something's lost in the translation.
Something is lost in that. There's something about like the imperfections of notes. I mean, it's a combination of like, different harmonics, different envelope, different attack and decay, different tonality. But it's also like, even if you sample that and then play it, like a horn player, especially since they're straining to play with their lips and lungs, is going to play differently on a high note than on a low note,
Yep.
And you're not going to get that from sampling the middle note and moving it around.
Well, you could if you sampled them playing every single note that you needed played.
No,
but
it
then
still doesn't
then you
work.
might as well have a session gap.
No, it doesn't work that way, man. That's how Mellotron worked, and it didn't sound like the instrument. It sounded kind of like the instrument, the choir or the strings or whatever, but there's too much human imperfection, and eventually computers will probably be able to replicate that, but they can't yet. Like the same thing with like amp modeling and microphone modeling plugins. There's something that hardware does. I mean, for instance, talk about your preamp you're using now that I gave
hold on.
you.
You could sample a whole phrase, and people do that. They'll sample a whole horn phrase, so you get all the human imperfection, for that whole bar, 2 bars, or 4 bars, and just play that whole thing over again. But then it sounds just like the original content, It doesn't quite become as much your own as it could.
Yeah. There's just something about real instruments blasting you in the face, man. It's like, I mean...
But they cost money, and then you got to pay the people to sit in the studio with you. And so I think that's why one of the reasons hip-hop is so based on sampling and DJing and stuff like that.
Well, think about hip-hop bands that record with everything looping in the studio, but play live with a band and loops. I mean, is that just for the theater of seeing the live drummer hit things, or is there more to it than that, do you think?
I think that's the main thing. I mean, to put on a live show, it's a lot more interesting to see everybody playing their instruments. Unless you have a really awesome DJ. It also depends on the size of the venue. Like in a club, like if I go to Emo's, when I went to Emo's to see Devin the Dude or Bun B, it's fine having a DJ. And there were great DJs, and they would, do stunts in the middle of a set and scratch, and they were a part of the act. But if you're in like a stadium and you can barely see the DJ, you can't really tell that he's doing anything original. I mean, you got to have a band,
And, like a lot of computer music stuff, it's like about as interesting as watching someone check their email, which, the same thing could be said for doing the Freedom Fiends. I mean, people have begged us and demanded that we add a video feed. And I'm like, really? You want to see me pick my nose and check my email? Is that what you want? No, man, we sound better without it. Although I could see a time when the Fiends go on tour and it's like you and I sitting at a table with 2 microphones up front yelling at each other. That'd be great.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm pretty expressive. I don't think it would be that boring. I mean, I used to do exactly what I'm doing now, but on TV, at an anchor desk. Although it's not like the anchors, even the really pretty anchors, it's not like they show them the whole time for the 30 minutes. You have to have video and B-roll to play it out, and you introduce a package and things like that.
So we're going to have a Fiends interactive show with us sitting at a table and some screens behind us.
That would be fun.
Some naked fire dancing women.
Yeah. There you go. Naked fire dancing women.
I don't know, man. I have some demands with touring too these days.
Trick shooters.
And it's my demands with touring has nothing to do with red M&M, blue M&Ms. It's got to do with I won't go anywhere I can't bring a gun, which limits me to some states. And there are states where you can bring a gun, but it's like not easy.
Yeah. I was actually happy that when I was running my government forced errands the other day, getting my driver's license and license plates, there was no signage about not carrying a gun. None at all. So I was able to be completely armed. In fact, when I was at the DPS where you get your driver's license in Texas, I was reading Unintended Consequences on my laptop while I was waiting to be called. And a guy sitting next to me started reading it, and it was a bit about trick shooters. And he was like, "Oh, wow, I used to know a guy who could shoot like that." And I was like, "Really?" And he's like, "Yeah, he was a sheriff." And I was like, I wanted to be like, "Ugh," but there was an actual sheriff's deputy sitting across from me, so I couldn't be like, "Man, I hate sheriff's deputies."
Well, I remember a time when the wave of the future would have been, you would have been reading that on a Palm Pilot, and if someone said they liked it, you would have been like, "Well, let me beam it to you via infrared." Can you do that with like the Kindle and stuff and the Fire and? No, because they got it all locked down, don't they? They want you to pay to share it.
Right. They want the you can share with things like Kindle. You can loan a book to somebody, but you have to do it through Amazon, and they only get the book for 2 weeks, and you lose access to the book
that's ridiculous. So so you're really lending them the book, man. That's so effed up.
But if you're friends or family, what you can do is you can put all of each other. You can register all of your Kindles onto one Amazon account, and then you can have access to everything. So whatever Dad buys to read, you can read for free. Whatever Mom buys to read, you can read for free.
I wouldn't want most of my family knowing what I'm reading, let alone Amazon, who can hand it over to the government.
Right. That's the catch. Is the teenage boys end up getting porno books, and the mom ends up getting 50 Shades of Grey.
But you know this because you worked at Amazon and did tech support, didn't you?
I don't know if we can say that or not. Do non-disclosures count after you're done?
Do they count if someone else says it about you?
No, not at all.
Yeah, I just outed you. It's like the Valerie Plame affair. I'm gonna get tried for treason now.
Yeah, I
didn't know you had an NDA. I just yeah. Well,
yeah, you did.
Well,
you did too. Because we wouldn't talk about it when it happened.
You probably shouldn't talk in about it because I think NDAs should be honored if they're not forced in like at the end of 5,000 pages of text on the internet to use a software program. You read it. You worked there.
They should, but
they did good by you.
But everything I said you can read on the FAQ, so it's not like I was giving out any information.
On the what?
You could read all that on
the FAQ?
Amazon's website. Yeah, it's not anything special or secret that I gave out. It's all public info.
I thought the FACT, FACT, was the name of the industry insider website for Amazon or something.
Oh.
Yeah, read it on the FACT, man.
Yeah, no. That's called something different, but I guess I couldn't say that because that's probably in the NDAA.
Yeah.
Or NDA. I said NDAA. Two completely different things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. So, somebody in the chat room asked us, what do we think of people who carry illegally? I'm guessing he means
who's
guns.
asking? Is it someone we know? That could be a government agent.
I think he's been following us. He's a good Fiend fan. I don't know if I guess he could be doing the slow play or whatever, but
no, I know who he is. I trust him sort of. As much as I trust anybody that, well, put it this way, if he is a Fed, he's had a consistent, he posts all the right things. I don't think he is. I'm kidding. I like this guy. What do I think of someone carrying illegal? Well, I'll say, I want to be careful with the answer on this, but I will say that when I first got into guns, I remember doing a blog post about it and saying, yes, my wife and I have bought guns and they're legally possessed and registered in California and we're obeying all laws. And like a friend of mine was like, I don't think you should brag about that. I don't think you should even do that. In fact, I think you should buy more guns at a gun show in the parking lot and cache them in PVC pipe tubing underground with ammo. And I was like, what? That's illegal. No. What if a kid finds them? And F the Constitution, man. Ben Quaker did a really good show on that the other day called something about pacifiers. Did you see it?
Yeah, I did.
Did you hear it?
The pacifier one? I think so. I was listening to a lot of podcasts, and I listened to like 3 Ben Stone casts in one day. So it might have all blended into one.
It was a repeat, but it was great.
Yep.
He's been having family health. Someone of his family's had health issues recently, so he hasn't been doing new casts. So he's been reposting old ones that I've never heard, and I'm loving it. And I listened to this one. It's called "Distracted by Pacifiers," and the basic premise of it is it's kind of addressed at people who are like, well, the Constitution, the Second Amendment gives us the right. And, my state has castle doctrine. And like, the thing is, those are just codifying things that existed in the common belief before that. I mean, in old England, if a policeman came in your house and tried to arrest you for something illegal, you'd shoot him. And that was an accepted behavior. If someone was on your property and you told them to leave and they didn't, you would shoot them. And that was accepted behavior. And he says the things weren't strengthened by writing them down. They were weakened by writing them down, because when they were written down, they started to get picked apart by lawyers who argued about and judges who argued about, well, does this mean that? And, recently Indiana passed a law that said castle doctrine, in most states, castle doctrine, which is you can shoot people on your own property, or if someone aggresses you, and then you can't be sued and you probably will not go to prison. In Indiana is unique in that they passed a castle doctrine recently that extends to police officers acting illegally. In most states, including Wyoming, where I live, castle doctrine has an exception that says, like, this does not apply if the person entering your home is a police officer on duty. So
which how the hell are you supposed to know, really? In the dark, somebody breaking into your house? I mean, aren't you going to shoot no matter? You're not going to like ask, Holt, who goes there? If somebody's breaking my window, I'm going to aim and shoot. If the
police ever want to talk to me, they should call me up or come by and talk to me. They should, if they come in through a window or breach a door, I'm going to die, and some of them are going to die. I mean, not that I want to shoot cops. It's just I am not going to sit to wait around and see if it's someone pretending to be a cop or not. Because I'm from LA, where it's really common for home invaders to yell police as they kick in the door, or to dress as police, like with stolen or homemade uniforms, or, you could go into police supply stores and get stuff. You're supposed to be a cop to do it, but there's ways people do it without
common.
it. So.
Hell, Mitt Romney did it. I mean,
you can buy it on eBay, man. Mitt Romney had connections, but I've seen badges at gun shows from police departments all over the country, sheriff's badges, cop badges. I've seen police style flak jackets. I've seen, I've been in like army surplus stores that sell flak jackets that say police on the back of them. You could buy a hat that says DEA anywhere. It's
or FBI or whatever.
So,
it's not hard to do. So yeah, man, the thing about carrying illegally is, I would say, in an ideal world, in LibPair and just in general, you should abide by natural law, right? Natural law is what we measure things by. And that includes the non-aggression principle. And I believe it includes non-aggression principle 2.0, which is you also defend yourself from aggression. Because if you're defending yourself from aggression and you can prevent yourself from being aggressed upon, you've done an action in the universe that has prevented an aggression from happening. So you've actually proactively prevented aggression, which is what self-defense is to me. So I would say measure yourself by natural law, not necessarily things like castle doctrine, Second Amendment, or whatever the case is.
Although, I would say that, but I would also say I take those things into account. I mean, to the point where my wife and I sold a house. Well, no, actually, we're still renting it out. We're trying to sell it. We left California, spent every last penny in the world we had to move from California to Wyoming, for a couple reasons, basically to escape socialism as much as possible, although there's Republican socialism here, but largely for gun and tax purposes. Taxes are a lot lower here, and you can legally carry a gun with permits. We got permits originally, but now you can legally carry a gun concealed without a permit here. And it's the only state, there's 4 states you can do that, and it's the only state where there's nothing in the law that says you have to tell a police officer when you're pulled over. I could have illegally carried in California, but California is a place where they pull you over and search you whenever they feel like it, pretty much often. And you go to prison for a year, so it's like,
were you ever searched in California, or were you ever asked if you would consent to a search?
No, but I didn't travel that much. And my stepson was several times, but he looks more like a punk than I do.
Yeah.
You know, he's,
I mean, because Texas is, I would argue, if it's not more of a police state than California, then it's just as much of a police state as California. And every time I've said, I don't give you consent to search my car, I don't think you have probable cause, they've respected it. Now that was, 8 years ago. I don't know how much things have changed, within the, I guess things probably have changed a bit, but I guess how I feel is, in what situation, if you're concealed carrying, if you're doing it quote unquote illegally, or you're not following the proper protocol, or you haven't got the right permission slips, at what point does somebody in the state become aware of that?
When they find the gun on you, or if things get a lot worse and they start going door to door based on, internet purchases of holsters or things like that.
Right. But when do they find the gun on you? Like, in what situation are you talking to somebody who's going to find a gun on you?
Well, hasn't Frank been searched by the police in Texas?
Yeah, Frank has been. Yep,
yeah.
Yep. He, if I'm not mistaken, in Galveston, he was stopped by cops and they searched his car.
I've never been searched by police, except the one time I wasn't arrested. I've never been arrested, but I spent a night in jail for being drunk about 25 years ago, drunk and obnoxious and running from the cops when they showed up. And they did, I think they searched me. I mean, I was blacked out. I'm sure they searched me. They did fingerprint me. I remember that. It was in South San Francisco. Yeah, but they can search you anytime they want, and whether it's legal or not. And they do it more and more. I mean, they're starting to do a thing. They're doing like TSA type stops. It's called Project Cobra or Operation Cobra. They're doing it on the highway in some states.
I think it's Viper, isn't it? Like, visible instant police something. One of those ridiculous acronyms that they always have.
It's basically, let's throw away the Fourth Amendment because there are people with towel heads that hate us, and we got to protect. How many? They don't pull over any Muslim extremists. They pull over Americans, and more often than not, like with Jillian, they did that, and they arrested her for weed, and like weighed the tiny bit of weed in the pipe and called the pipe part of the weight of the drugs. That's still pending, but she has to go back to Texas for that. Yeah.
Wow.
So, and that was actually a border patrol. She was on what's the road in Texas?
I-10, I believe she was. Yeah. I always avoid I-10 near El Paso like the plague, because I know those cops there they're not your friends. Well, no cops are your friends, but especially there.
Willie Nelson and Snoop Dogg got busted for weed on the same stretch of highway, and I think in Libertarian Paradise, I think that AAA would warn you of that. They probably don't when you're planning a triptych there.
There's probably an app. There's apps for speed traps and stuff. I bet there's an app for border crossings.
Someone should make a guns and weed app. Just like map America with the laws.
It's not a bad idea. Yeah. It's not a bad idea. We could do it. Maybe.
I will not do that. Man, are you serious? Well, gee, I'm going to learn programming and study all the laws and constantly update
program
them.
We don't have to program it, but we could sponsor it or something. I'm just saying it's a good idea.
We'll mention it when someone does it. My problem with that is I have more experience with this than you do, because I'm the one that updated the law sections in the guns and weed movement
they're constantly changing
for a year, and then finally said, okay, this is it. Output the DVD and like mailed it off, and before the DVDs were pressed, it needed updating again.
Yeah. Yeah, it is definitely a lot of data to keep track of. A lot of constantly changing data. I guess the thing though is, what's more important? Your fear of cops finding your gun, or your fear of walking around without a gun? And I was thinking about that the other day, because
who do you want to get beat up by, a mugger or a cop, is what it comes down to.
Well, it could also come down, who are you more likely to be mugged by? What kind of neighborhood are you in?
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff. I think I can't make a prescription on this, because it has to be weighed on such an individual basis.
Although in a shitty neighborhood, you're probably more likely to get rousted by the cops, especially if you look like you don't belong there. If it's a black shitty neighborhood and you're white, or vice versa.
Well, it comes around like a full circle way, because if it's a super shitty neighborhood, then the cops don't even
go there. Yeah. Yeah.
But here's the thing that makes it so sad is, a lot of times if you live in a really bad neighborhood and you are low income, you can't afford to jump through the hoops.
Yeah. Tell me what it takes there, man. It didn't take much here.
Yeah. Frank's been trying to get his concealed carry permit, or at least looking into it, and
it's about $300, right?
About that, yeah. He wrote an article, a blog post on the Freedom Feens blog. You should go check it out. It's it's like $100. You got to take a class. I guess they might vary in price. I'm not sure, but an average of about $100 to go take a 10-hour class. And not only is it the $100, but of course it's the opportunity cost of the lost productivity you could have had during those 10 hours. So it's more than just $100. It's also 10 hours of productivity that you lose. Yeah. Then there's also after you do that, it's another $240 some to get the actual permit. At least according to Frank. I mean, I haven't actually tried. I still have my Washington permit, which is reciprocal. So I've been deferring to that lately. I am going to have to get one, soon, eventually. And I just feel like, wow. I mean, already, if you take it as a percentage, if I get one of those in the next month, then I will have spent so much money on just getting all my proper paperwork for the state for the move, almost as much as it costs to drive down here to Texas, and to move all my stuff. So it becomes very ridiculous, very intrusive, and I don't understand why there are people out there that just let this slide and think that these are just what you have to do. It's just, I know it is the cost of doing business, but it's not right. It's not something that we should help perpetuate or just let roll off of our shoulders. It's something that, yeah, you do it, but you bitch about it. You tell people how ridiculous it is, and you don't take it sitting down, even while you're doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why I have a microphone I bitch into.
Somebody just posted, when I grow up, I want to be Michael Dean or Mick Jagger. Not sure which yet. And I said, Michael Dean can still get it up.
You know for a fact that Mick Jagger can't?
I'd be willing to bet.
Why?
Maybe not without pills. He's old, man. He's old and he's done a lot of drugs.
Yeah. Well, you did a lot of drugs too.
Yeah, but I stopped in 1994. I'll bet Mick did something this morning.
Yeah.
Plus, that guy's had so much fine tail in his life. I mean, do you think he can even enjoy it anymore? Maybe. I don't know. I mean, I've had a lot of fine food in my life, and I really loved what I had for breakfast today. So I guess it's possible.
Yeah, I bet it is, man. I don't think pussy gets old.
I've slept with 175 women, 6 men, and a cat. No, but
a cat.
I think Mick Jagger had done that by 1963.
Yeah. Well, also, Mick Jagger sleeps on a pile of money surrounded by beautiful women.
That's how he sleeps at night.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think I could use a little bit of refreshment. My mouth is actually...
Right. Why don't you play an ad?
So I'll play
sell some stuff.
Should we sell some stuff or should we play some music? I kind of feel like playing some...
What music you want to play? Some Freedom Feens hip-hop?
No, I'm thinking some Bomb music.
What song of my band Bomb from the 80s?
Let's see. Well, since you said you slept with men, we could play Be a Fag.
That's really short, though, if you wanted to take a break. That's about a minute and a half long. But can you queue up two? The chord progression of that is B-E-A-F-A-G, and the only words are be a fag. You didn't get that because you're not a musician like that.
Yeah, I get it now. That's funny. That's funny. Okay. Yeah, well, let's play Be a Fag, and then I'll cue something up to play after that.
Okay. Worms.
Okay. Worms.
Yo, yo. Yo, 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 yo.
La 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 la
Yo, it's the Feens.
Yo.
Yeah.
What are you doing? I'm writing with Richard Stallman. Writing him back.
I've finished my beverage. It is grapefruit club soda with vodka. Mostly vodka.
Yeah.
It's delicious. I usually hate mixed drinks, but I don't know. I'm out of beer.
Yeah, Richard Stallman wrote me back and said, we seem to be stumped by... I thought we were done. I thought he was like, no way. So he wrote me back and said, we seem to be stumped by the question of data formats. I can't ignore the issue because that would put me in a hypocritical position. But maybe we could do more to explore whether there's another solution. And I'm replying, well, in full disclosure, I should tell you that I talked about my complaints about your position at length and let you check it out before we proceed. And I sent him the links to the 2 Freedom Fiends casts.
Well, do you want to still interview him or what?
Okay, I hit send. I don't want to jump through any hoops to do it. You know, he's like you said to me, I mean, I don't want to be like him, you know, when I said, and I'm thinking about that, like, I'm like, if we do any interviews, here are my demands. That guy makes a lot more demands than I do, though. But he's in a position to do it. But
Well, here's a way maybe you guys could come to an agreement if you still want to interview him. Why doesn't he just offer it as an OGG file? I mean, if he's so, if
there you go.
If he wants it to be out there as an OGG file, tell him to convert the damn file and offer it on his blog.
I'm writing it back again. How about we do the interview? We do what we normally do, and you can take the file, convert to OGG, or have someone else do it for you. And you blog it. There. Perfect. All right. Richard Stallman. All right. So that was my band Bomb back in the day when I was on the heroin diet. My exercise was doing many push-ups on many beautiful and otherwise women every night.
And otherwise, huh?
Hey man, all women are beautiful on the inside, and all women are beautiful. All women are beautiful in the dark, and they're especially all beautiful if they're wearing, you know, pumps, a slip, lipstick, and I have a little riding crop in my hand.
A little what?
Riding crop in my hand.
What's that? Is that like whip, kind of?
It's a flat whip. It's for giving people little love taps.
Okay.
Yeah. So this morning, my bird washer was frozen. 2 days ago, I was sitting out in the backyard with my shirt off, sunning myself. And today, when I went out, my bird washer, what do you call them? Bird bath. Had a
washer?
Skin of ice. I call it the bird washer. Yeah. Because they wash themselves in it.
They do. But they also bathe themselves in it.
Yeah, which is why I go out about 2 or 3 times a day and change the water for them, because I don't want my pretty birds bathing in bird crap and feathers and, you know.
Yeah. You really like all the little animals that live around your house.
I do.
You're always feeding the squirrels, feeding the birds, bathing the birds. Do you bathe the squirrels too?
No. Yes.
You shower them?
No.
Squirt them with the hose?
I just feed them and let nature take care of itself. Feed them and water them. We've been getting a lot of blue jays lately. I've decided that Fuzzy is taking lessons from them because they're really painfully squawky, and Fuzzy doesn't talk a lot, but when Fuzzy the cat talks, it's like meow, meow. So I think we call him the blue jay or blue boy now after the blue jays.
Okay.
So back to the
hold on. Is feeding birds and squirrels and all that kind of such, is that just like an old white guy thing? Because Ben's always talking about that too. I threw out some peanuts for the squirrels and some sunflower seeds for the birds.
Well, you know,
what is that?
I mean, you know, your entertainment is like going to some hip hop club where a gunfight or a knife fight breaks out. Well, you know, we've been there, done that. We've been there, done that. You know, for us, entertainment is, it's an old white guy thing. It's the simpler things in life. I think it's an old guy thing. I think there are a lot of old black men that probably feed the squirrels too. I've seen them in the parks doing it.
Yeah. I guess when we lived in Washington, me and the wife would go out sometimes with some old bread and throw it up at the seagulls. But it was kind of fun because it was like a game. You know, you'd have a whole swarm of seagulls and you throw it and see if they can catch it in the air. Like throw it right at them. That's kind of fun. So I guess I can see the pleasure. Right.
So back to the should you carry illegally or not? You know, I was thinking about those Ohio politicians trying to pass a bill that basically would make concealed carry legally impossible. This is probably going to get me droned, but I can't not say it. This is probably what's going to get my door kicked down. I believe that the way the Second Amendment was intended, from what I've read about the people who wrote it, Madison and Jefferson, I believe that if they were alive today, whether they were politicians or not, and some politician decided to do that, Jefferson or Madison would put a fucking RPG through the office window of the guy who's proposing that bill. I'm serious. I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm not recommending anyone do violence. That is what the Second Amendment meant.
Well, see, here's how I feel about it. It's ridiculous politicians grandstanding. What was the state they were doing it in?
Ohio. Where Ben lives.
Right. Yeah, I guess maybe it does have a chance of passing in Ohio.
Yeah, and Ben's been debating getting a permit or not, and I think someone in his family just went through all the hoops and got a permit. And Ben's like, I don't know, man. But I'm thinking, like, now that's probably not a good idea. They're probably going to go door to door if they pass this thing.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it also seems like a law that would be easily ignored, don't you think? I mean, one of the things about laws is if they're completely impossible to enforce, it's like they don't exist. I mean, how are they really going to walk around? Do they don't have enough police to sit there at every single piece of private property in this state and check everybody at the door to see if they have a gun?
They'd like to. They're going to work on it. Yeah. They'd like to do a lot with technology. I mean, having backscatter stuff at the entrance of everywhere.
I didn't think of that. I didn't think of that. Yeah, there you go. You're right. That's scary because they could just shoot everybody with backscatter rays and millimeter waves all the time, and then what would be the point of concealment? They can see it.
Fiend phone.
We got a Fiend call. I forgot we were calling.
Fiend phone. Fiend phone.
Hey, Fiend, who's this?
Hey, this is Steven in Kansas.
Hey, Steven in Kansas.
What's up, man?
Let me just finish one thought here. Neema, I think what they do, what they've historically done with things like this is they do a bunch of high-profile busts of a few people, and all but the most stalwart comply.
Chilling effect.
There will always be people with guns, and there will always be honest people with guns. But the NRA crowd, when guns are outlawed, Boston said it well. Like, a lot of those people are going to quietly shift over to radio-controlled, helicopters.
Ham radio or something.
Yeah, ham radio.
Yeah.
So what's up, Mr. Kansas there?
I thought I'd call in and give you guys a headline to chew on from one of the square states a little further south.
Go for it.
There was a headline that came across a couple of days ago that a pirate radio station in Manhattan, Kansas, had been busted for unlawful operation. And in all of the stories that I've seen on this, there's no mention of why it was unlawful, but it does mention that it was broadcasting anti-government and global conspiracy theory.
Was it us?
Programming from the no, it wasn't. It was the Republic Broadcasting Network.
Alex Jones, right?
But
is that Alex Jones?
I thought I
don't think
know.
so.
I don't know.
I gotta look that up.
I think he's like GCN. There's a G in there in Alex's radio thing. Republic Broadcasting, huh? So they. In none of the stories, they don't say it was unlawful because it violated FCC regulations or anything like that.
Well, they just say pirate, and you know that.
Well, yeah, they just say pirate, and it does mention the FCC in a couple of the reports, but it doesn't mention if it was a language thing or if it was operating at an unlawful frequency or if it was broadcasting too high power or what. I mean, it just says. Unlawful pirate radio station.
Okay, I'm looking at the Wikipedia entry on Republic Broadcasting Network. It is satellite, shortwave, and internet radio, and apparently FM or AM radio operation based in Texas. They advertise Truth Radio Station. In 2010, it received publicity in the news after one of its broadcasters was revealed to be a leader in the Guardians of the Free Republics, a sovereign citizen affiliated group, that had sent letters threatening all 50 U.S. governors. Remember that? It was like
there you go.
Yeah, they basically like wrote letters to every governor, like official, with their address and phone number and everything. Like, I forget what they said, but it was something like, defend the Constitution or the hangings will begin. It was something along those lines. Not quite that, but yeah.
There was some kind of threat in it, you're saying?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah,
it was threatening them
through the federal mail system. That's a good one.
It was threatening them with arrest by the provost marshal if they did not resign from their corporate office and swear out a new oath to the de jure republic. Okay. I don't agree with any of that. That's
what the hell's a provost marshal? I mean, I don't think that the government should shut down their radio station because of this.
A provost marshal is the person in an organization. It's basically the security officer or the military officer. Okay. So basically, they said, obey the Constitution or we're going to arrest you and have citizen courts, which, have fun with that. Good luck with that. That'll work. That'll change things.
Well, and you know, to Neema's point, and that's part of the reason I brought it up. Of all the mainstream media coverage of this, it never mentions what was unlawful about it. But the points that they hit on repeatedly are the words pirate radio station and anti-government programming. And you know, I know that can't be the reason that the radio station was shut down. But that's the way the mainstream media is painting it, that this was an anti-American or anti-government thing.
Right. Because I don't think that the mainstream media feels anymore like they have to go into details like that. In my experience, as long as a cop says something was illegal, the reporter tends to just take his word for it and run with it and throw in some buzzwords there like pirate or FCC, and that's all they have to do. They don't really have to dig, and it usually doesn't cross a reporter's mind to question the illegality of something or question when a cop is accusing somebody of something. That's not usually in the flow chart of writing your story, unfortunately.
And I will say that
sure, and that goes for the public as well. I mean, they're not questioning the police, or they're not questioning the media either.
Right. Yeah, and that's why the media can get away with that, is because the public doesn't ask for that.
I wouldn't necessarily guess that these people were targeted for anti-government stuff, although they may have been, but unlicensed radio gets shut down all the time, and more often than not, it's stoner kids broadcasting music they like that they wish was on the radio, you know, with no political agenda.
But usually the only way the officials become aware of it is somebody reports them, like that one snitch guy that we did the cast about way in our early days, the guy who had the problem with the pirate radio station and was regularly reporting to the FCC and snitching.
Yeah. Rico has a point
otherwise
here.
the FCC doesn't sit there and listen to these things all the time.
No, they respond to complaints.
No.
And there were probably complaints. I'm not saying it's a good thing they got shut down. I'm all for the radios. I think it should be. I hate the FCC. That's why I'm a podcaster, man. But you know, pirate radio. I don't know how much you guys know about it. I've been around the periphery of it earlier in my life a bit, and been in college radio too. Was actually an FCC licensed broadcaster when you had to be on an FCC. You know, on a licensed station. How many people do you know that had a broadcast license? I had one for FCC.
You're not talking about the company had to have a broadcast license.
I'm talking
about you as an individual.
When I was on the radio in 1981, a DJ on my college station, I had to apply to the FCC and get a license to be on the station.
Are you serious?
I'm deadly serious.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. So I know a lot about radio, and I know I've been building transmitters since I was a kid. I don't do it now. I don't pirate or anything right now, but I know a lot about it. And there's some really good documentaries out there. One's called Pirate Radio USA. It's all on Hulu. That's about pirate radio. Most of it is really apolitical stuff. It's just people playing music they want to hear. It's kind of interesting though, because you can tell that the young hipsters making it are lefty guys. And they go to a prison and interview some right-wing constitutionalist blog, radio guy type guy with kind of like, they're kind of in awe of him because he is in prison for refusing to not do what he's doing over and over and over.
What's the name of the documentary?
Pirate Radio USA.
Pirate Radio USA. Huh. Wasn't there also a feature film about pirate radio?
That was it.
That was it?
Well, there was a big Hollywood movie. It was called I think Pirate Radio or something, which was about the English Channel boat broadcasters.
Yeah, in the North Sea.
Yeah, I think it stars Seymour Philip Hoffman.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. Did you ever see that?
No. No.
A movie you haven't seen. Wow.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
My, how the tables have turned.
All right, well, I'm going to let you guys get back to it, but thanks for taking my call.
Cool, man.
All right, man. Thanks for calling.
Call in anytime.
Peace.
Let's give out the call-in number. This is a call-in show. If you're calling on October 4th, this is live. So go ahead. Give the number out there, Neema.
Good point. Yeah, we were not on our JO at the beginning of the show. We were supposed to start now
we had a lot
saying
to say.
the date and saying the number. So yeah, it is October 4th, and the call-in number is 307-215-5171. If you want to call in like our friend from Kansas, you can do that as well. It is, again, 307-215-5171.
Getting back to the the horizontal enforcement angle of this, Rico had a really good point of, they just say in the media about this FCC bust, they were anti-government, and most people just think terrorists,
Yeah. They think when they say anti-government, they think of people who want to eat their children's faces off because they're taking so many bath salts.
Yeah, they think of people that want to put RPGs through the offices of congressmen.
Yeah. People who want to take away our freedoms that the government provides.
Yeah. I don't know, man. The sovereign citizen stuff is so bizarro world to me.
Yeah, but I mean, the whole point of this thing, right, is that we need to be defending people we disagree with, as long as they're doing things, when their freedoms get infringed on, we need to be at their side, whether they're the Ku Klux Klan or the freaking sovereign citizens. I mean, if
the Ku Klux Klan would hang you, but I understand what you're saying. It's the, I may not agree with you, sir, but I'll fight to death for the death
exactly
for your right to say it.
Right.
Yeah.
Like the gay polygamist lawyer in Futurama.
Yeah. I love that guy. That guy's great. Yeah. I love that.
If there's been a war there, I've taken a bullet in the planet or on the planet. Wait, I forget what he says. See, that's why we need clips.
No.
All
right. So, I totally think it's horrible that these people got shut down. I think it's really square. If they weren't stepping on any other station, they weren't hurting anybody. If they had a good filter, which I'm hoping they did, good low pass filter. I should probably link that article that Cash Newman wrote called "Start Your Own Liberty Radio Station for $250." Should I? I don't know. It's out there.
I mean,
search it.
Why not? You don't want to link it?
No,
link it. Yeah, do it. Because that gives you instructions on how to do it without the FCC breathing down your neck. Although I kind of feel like if somebody in the government wants to get you on something, they're going to find something. I mean, how many of us have read the whole FCC code? Plus, they're cabinet level. You have the whole thing.
I've read the whole
up to date.
No,
like
I've read
2012.
I've read the up to date part 15, which is about 30 pages.
The part that's applicable. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I had to read and I had to take a test to get that broadcast license I told you about. That was back in the day, and it's probably a different law. I'm sure it's a lot of more laws now, but yeah, you used to have to be licensed to be on the radio or on TV.
That's really horrible. I didn't know about that. I mean, they never taught us about that in journalism school. We weren't taking classes so we could pass some kind of journalism bar.
They also
and be approved by the state.
They also never taught you about journalism in journalism school.
Well, they taught us about what passes nowadays for modern journalism. I mean, you learn to do what people see on TV. You certainly do.
Well, that's probably why they got rid of this law, is because the bimbo-headed blondes on most major news probably couldn't pass the test to get the broadcast license. It's not hard, too.
We need girls with bigger tits.
It wasn't hard,
we gotta get rid of this licensing thing.
It was like, it was like, if you ever you've never been anywhere where you have to do the written test to buy a gun, have you?
No, God, no. What? Written test to buy a gun?
In California, to buy a handgun, you have to take a written test. It's not hard.
On it?
There's like
how do you make the gun fire?
It's basically how to not shoot yourself or somebody else by accident. You could pass it right now, but yeah, there's a written test.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I guess there's a written test to drive too, and I think that's ridiculous, but I don't know. I feel like if you're going to test somebody on something like that, why does it have to be a written test? I mean, why not a physical test with a gun or with a car?
Because gun shops in Los Angeles don't have a shooting range in the back of the room. But also, if there were in LibPair, if there were going to be private, if I ran a gun shop in LibPair and someone came in who really looked like they were going to be a friggin' idiot with a gun, I wouldn't sell them a gun.
Mm-hmm.
And people
or let them shoot on your range if you had a range. Yeah.
And I think that, that wouldn't really be licensing because it wouldn't be universal, and there would be options. There would be other people who wouldn't have that requirement. But I think of any kind of restrictions, and that does kind of fall under a private restriction, I think that makes a lot more sense than like licensing and fees. Like actually being able to know how to use the dangerous gun or car you're going to be using makes a lot more sense than give us money so we'll let you use it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I think you're right. Eric Peters wrote a pretty great article sort of about private roads, and he was saying that, in his vision of LibPair, he doesn't call it that, of course, but, if the roads were private, just like there are private roads now, they're called racetracks, and they're big in lots of rural places where you have these dirt tracks or concrete tracks or asphalt
and every
tracks
time somebody
people race on.
Every time someone dies on one, some local politician wants to pass a law to limit them somehow.
Yep. But the thing, if you own one of those racetracks and somebody's not following the rules, or you don't trust somebody,
they're out of there, man.
They're gone. They're gone. Yeah, exactly. Or if somebody doesn't know how to drive properly, they're not going to drive on it.
I brought up something in passing recently in another cast that I think is worth revisiting and maybe exploring, or at least putting it out there for other people to think about and comment on, was, how would the roads work in LibPair? I think that they might work sort of like how data networks work now, like telephone companies and, fiber optic, basically the ostensible reason, the given reason that the government took over a monopoly of the telephone companies in the, 50s, 60s, 70s, and got rid of it in the 80s or 90s or something, and then just regulated the people they meted it out to, was because they said, well, phone lines they're a finite resource. We can't have 20 phone lines on every corner. We won't be able to see the sky, which was a good point. But since then, advances in technology, that probably would have happened a lot earlier if the government hadn't been in the way. One cable that's a half-inch long can carry all the data of 10 phone companies and 10 cable networks. So what they do is, one company builds them and owns them, and then the other companies lease time and data throughput on them. Now, why couldn't the roads work in some similar way? Because they say we can't have 10 competing parallel roads. It would take up all of the space and private property and everything, which is a good point. So it's like the existing roads we have now, why couldn't 5 companies contract in the lack of a government to maintain them, provide security for them, provide safety for them, pull wrecks off the road, clean them up, and it'd be okay, I have the Neema brand road service, and I'd buy with an app on my iPhone or my non-iPhone, my Android phone with an app. I'd pay my monthly or quarterly bill on that road. It'd be cheaper than what we pay in all the taxes combined to run be on the roads. But and you'd print out a little blue sticker that would have a QR code on it that the guys from the Neema car safety company on that stretch of road or that network across the country would maintain. And if you're speeding on that road, or if you're drunk on that road, or if you're pulled over and need help on that road, only the Neema cops, the Neema private safety people with the blue whatever, would pull you over and deal with it. And
right. Yeah. The rules you agreed to through a contract, and the fees you agreed to through a contract. Exactly. It could be done that way. It could be done other ways. I mean, the thing about roads is it's the same thing as anything else the government does. The government doesn't do it efficiently, ever. That's pretty much a rule. So letting private businesses, whether it's done the way you just described or a number of different ways. I mean, people have wrote books on that. Walter Block wrote a book, envisioning different ways roads could work without the state. So I feel like we don't have to sit there and argue this with statists all the time and feel like that's the point they got us on, because they're wrong. We're not.
Yeah, I don't want to argue with statists. I don't even want to talk to them. If somebody comes to me and they're open-minded and I did this recently. An old friend of mine I know in person wrote me and said I'm confused about voting. I don't want to vote for either person. And I like your ideas, but how would the roads work without the government? And I just sent her a link to the Daily ANCAP, dailyancap.com, which lists all of my favorite media. And some I don't like so much, but is still good. And I just said, go listen to some of the stuff. It'll explain it all. I'm tired of explaining it. And we're on there too. So if people want to know what we think, they can check it out. And if they want to know how you go from small government to no government person, go listen to the early Freedom Feens episodes where I'm a statist and watch me grow in the first 10 or 20 casts.
Yeah, exactly. Another thing about the roads is, as far as monetizing it and incentives, one of the things is, I mean, what if a road maker, if he owns the land the road's on, he could make money
everywhere.
Ads everywhere on the billboards. And Ben Stone, I guess I got the idea sort of from him because he was explaining this sort of why the freeway does near where he lives, and there's a section where pedestrians can't cross unless they cross the freeway. He's saying in a free society, in Lipair, people would have an incentive to build an underpass or a tunnel, and they could monetize it by paying some small nominal fee, an entrance fee, or just have the walls plastered with posters, movie advertisements, even audio advertisements. There's tons of ways. If there's money to be made, somebody's going to try to make money off of it. And there's tons of ways I think you could make money off of roads.
Someone named Fruit Bat just posted on the chat room. Go Neema, go.
No, go Neema V. Like go Freedom Fiends.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
You read it with the wrong cadence.
I read it. I had the white guy filter installed.
There's a plug-in you can get for
There's
that.
a plug-in for that. I speak Jive. Do you speak Jive?
Yeah.
Now that's that'd be great to have that queued up from Airplane. You ever
Man, I don't think I've ever seen Airplane. No, I know I should have. I know what it is. I know it's funny.
Okay, well, there's
man, that's before my time. I was probably born after it was made.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of things before my time that I've checked out that are worth checking out, that are classic. And I'm an old person saying, "You don't remember the classics of my youth. You're ruining society." But there is some good stuff in the movie Airplane. It's an air disaster comedy from like 1977, probably. I don't know, something like that. But there's two black guys on the plane, and they're speaking total street Ebonics kind of. The stewardess can't understand what they're saying, and this woman who's played by the woman who played June Cleaver on Leave It to Beaver stands up and says, "Oh, miss, I speak Jive," and she interprets for them. Jive.
Nice.
That's what Ebonics was called back in the day. Jive.
Okay.
I speak Jive.
I could see that. Although usually when I use Jive, I use it as
falseness, like don't jive me.
Yeah, like what we do when the slave masters are looking at us. Like when I talk to a cop, I call that jive talk because I'm like, yes, sir, I do have my license and registration. It's right here. That's when I think of jive. I think of what the slaves do to keep the slave masters from thinking that they're out of line or rebellious.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not going to argue and say that everybody should be forced to use the word the same way. I'm not like Stallman or nothing.
Ooh.
That was a cheap shot. I'm sorry. I take that back.
Fruit Bat said, "I picked the wrong day to quit sniffing glue." That's a line from Airplane too.
Who says that?
Dude, I can't believe you haven't seen. I think you should go watch Airplane right now, and we'll just watch it together and comment on it for the rest of the show.
You think it's on YouTube? We could just play it.
Yeah. Well, then we'd be broadcasting. We couldn't broadcast it. It'd just be us going, "Yeah, dude, that's great. Oh, check this part out." Yeah.
Why can't we broadcast it? Because IP?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't respect IP laws, but I am trying to obey them, which basically because I think that a thing's going to come along like CISPA where they can just take stuff down they don't like because there's a 5-second clip from Fox News or CNN in it.
Yeah.
Or anything. We're such content creators too. It's like, like some freedom media, like, they have all their bump music is like Led Zeppelin and Aerosmith. And I'm like, really? Dude, we make better stuff than that before breakfast. Why would we want to use that music?
Can I play the I Speak Jive clip?
Sure, man. You got it?
Okay. Yeah, I got it. I got to skip the ad though.
Okay, you cue it up. You cue it up, and I'll talk about it. Airplane came out in 1980. It stars Leslie Nielsen, Robert Hayes.
That's the guy I was trying to say. Yeah.
Although Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is in it. He plays a pilot.
Oh, nice.
He plays a pilot who's denying he's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Everyone's recognizing him. He's like, "No, ma'am, I'm sorry. You have me confused with someone else. I'm a pilot.
That's great.
I'm a pilot."
That's great. Okay, you ready for I Speak Jive?
Yeah. Yeah.
A little hot. Stryker, before we start, I'd like to say something. I know that right now things must look pretty rough up there. But if you do what I tell you, when I tell you to do it, there's no reason why you shouldn't have complete confidence in your chances to come out of this thing alive and in one piece. Stryker, what kind of weather are you in up there?
Rain.
And a little ice.
And a little ice.
How's it handling?
Sluggish. Like a wet sponge.
Sluggish. Like a wet sponge.
All right, Stryker. You're doing just fine.
It's a damn good thing he doesn't know how much I hate his guts.
It's a damn good thing you don't know how much he hates your guts.
Can I get you something?
That your mofo butter laying me to the bone, jacking me up. Tight me.
I'm sorry, I don't understand.
Cuddy say can't hang.
Oh, stewardess, I speak Jive.
Oh, good.
He said that he's in great pain and he wants to know if you can help him.
All right, would you tell him to just relax and I'll be back as soon as I can with some medicine.
Just hang loose, blood. She's gonna catch up on the rebound on the med side.
What it is, Big Mama? My mama didn't raise no dummies. I duck her rap.
Cut me some slack, Jack. Chump don't want to help. Chump don't get the help.
Say can't hang, say 7-Up.
Jive ass dude don't got no brains anyhow.
Yeah. Neema.
Yep.
Stop that shit.
I did.
That was good, and I like where you're going with that. But you can't play a 2-minute and 40-second clip of it. You have to go to the Jive.
I didn't know where to cue it because I don't know the movie, man.
Yeah.
I don't.
Well, you could have scrolled through to the black guys and June Cleaver.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought maybe the pilot thing was some kind of context that you needed. I don't know, man.
No, man.
I guess I shouldn't play clips from movies I haven't seen, which
I think that's a good start.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah. You know,
but the audio sounded good. Chat room.
Yeah, it was good enough.
I mean, part of the reason I'm doing this is I just want to have the technical ability to do it because it's fun to plug new wires into new places. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was happening at the end there? It got all echoey. Were you putting effects on it, or was that feedback through the mixer, or what was it?
Was it echoey on just your voice?
No, it was on the clip. Like at the end, it was like, I speak Jive. No, I speak Jive. Like not the part where it first comes up. That was good. Like, the 10 seconds you should have actually played. But after that, it went into a loop. And I heard every voice twice, about 5 seconds apart.
I don't know. That might have been something in Mumble. I didn't hear it. I actually did not hear that.
All right. So it's a work in progress here at the Feens. We are painting the sky with our spunk. What's the word? Not spunk.
With our spunk. Skeet.
Yeah.
It's skeet art. Skeet art rich.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Skeet art rich. So, where do you want to go from here, baby man? Baby man.
Baby man. I was gonna say, that's my favorite superhero, man.
Is it a real superhero? You making that up?
I'm making that up.
I think we should talk about the origin of the term "the man." Do you have that in your notes?
I can. Yeah, I'm sure I do. Let me.
We use that a lot because we kind of like old hipster slang, and I don't think people use that much anymore. Of like, the man's holding me down, and we got to fight the man, which means
people do it, but I think they do it a lot ironically now.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if it's completely genuine when people say, "Yeah, the man,"
Yeah. Well, a very interesting thing is that the first recorded use of the term "the man" in that sense was Alexander Hamilton in 1772 when he was 15 in a letter to his father. Alexander Hamilton invented the man. That's like the man calling the man.
He's the proto man.
Yeah, I mean,
he's
the reason. He's the reason the Second Amendment doesn't say if someone tries to take away these rights, you can put an RPG through their window. That's what the Second Amendment said before he got a hold of it.
Yeah,
and he is the original Federalist, the king of the Federalists. The reason.
He wanted us to basically have an elected king. I mean, all this fancy wordage about democracy that you hear in the founding fathers, Alexander Hamilton was like the opposite of that. He wanted to recreate England, but in America.
Alexander Hamilton is skeeting in his grave over the upcoming election. That's where he's like, well, it doesn't quite go far enough. These guys aren't quite going far enough yet, but they're getting a lot closer to my vision.
Getting closer.
Yeah. All that damn constitutional stuff got in the way for 240 years, man. He's skeeting in his grave.
Well, in the Probability Broach by L. Neil Smith, the Hamiltonians are actually, because in the alternate universe, everybody's free. It's like Lipair, and the Hamiltonians are the underground group that basically plays the role the anarchists do now in agitating the status status quo.
Instead of the problem being anti-government groups in that world, the problem
it's pro-government
is the
groups.
small underground of pro-government people.
Right. And they're called Hamiltonians, and they've got pictures of Hamilton on their walls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the man. I mean, that phrase also means other things. Like, it means a drug dealer, too. Like, I'm waiting for my man,
Well, usually I thought it's prefaced with the drug that they're supplying you with. Like, hey, there go the weed man, that kind of stuff.
No, I mean, it does now.
That's how I've heard
it. In the 1670s, it was the man was your drug dealer of whatever drug. You don't have to say to another heroin addict, the heroin man is coming. In the same way that
heroin man.
In Mexico, they don't call Mexican food. They just call it food,
Food. Yeah.
So if you're a heroin addict basically heroin addicts don't care about any other drug unless they can't get anything. And then it's just to like wake them up to go buy more heroin. Heroin addicts.
Does heroin wake you up to buy more heroin?
Well, it makes your bones stop aching if you're addicted. So, if you're a heroin addict and you're out of heroin and you have to go hustle some money to get some heroin, hustle to get some heroin.
Okay.
You might take a shot of whiskey if that's all you've got because it'll calm you a little bit enough to get out of the house and do it.
I was wondering how that worked because with some other drugs, like when you wake up in the morning, you feel like kind of out of it, and then you take another dose of whatever the drug is, and then you feel better. I'm never going to try heroin, so I didn't know if
it basically becomes like a vitamin to where like without it you don't feel right, and a lot of it will get you high, but a small amount of it will just get you to normal. Same with alcohol, same with speed, anything like that, anything that's physically addictive. I mean, here's an example of like how much heroin addicts like heroin, to go off on a little wormhole here and bring it back. There's this movie called Panic in Needle Park. It's a really great 70s movie.
With Al Pacino?
Yeah, Al Pacino's first major role. There's a scene in there where some like hippies walk up to some old dude who's a junkie, like in a business suit, like an old school junkie, and they're like, "Excuse me, sir, do you know where we could buy some grass?" And he's like, "No, but it's quaint of you to ask."
How quaint. Some grass.
Yeah, which is also in the movie Drugstore Cowboy or something like that, where William S. Burroughs, a junkie, is playing a junkie priest, and his buddy who robs drugstores for a living decides to go clean, and he's friends with this guy was his priest as a child, and he's like, well, I'm going to give him my drugs. If I'm giving him, I'm not going to throw them away. He can use them. He's old. So he goes over, knocks on his cheap hotel room door. Burroughs lets him in, and he's like, I'm going straight. And he's like, well, everyone tries that sooner or later, my son. And he's like, here, I wanted to give you this. And he gives him a paper bag. Burroughs pours it out on the bed. It is full of like every kind of pill you can imagine. And he just like looks through them all and just scoots all the pills over with his hand and then pulls up this little tiny bottle of powdered Dilaudid, which is synthetic heroin, basically.
Yeah, I know what Dilaudid is.
And everything else, like all the barbiturates, all the stimulants, everything he's pushing out of the way, he's like, these are for squares. And then he picks up the little Dilaudid bottle and said, but this, son, will earn you an indulgence.
An indulgence?
It's a Catholic thing, man.
I know what an indulgence is.
It doesn't mean we're going to indulge in some together. It means you can sin and be forgiven in advance for this.
Right. I see. Okay, I get it now.
Yeah, but all the other stuff that, like, most garbage pail heads who just will take any drug they can get their hands on would scramble for, he just pushes it away and says, this stuff's for squares, son.
Right. Well, the thing with indulgences is, because when you mentioned that, I think I had a conversation about that recently with somebody. I don't remember if they were a statist or not, but back then, when the church was basically the state, they were the ones who controlled everything. At least you could buy an indulgence, right? Wouldn't it be nice
if we had some tax?
I know. We don't even get that luxury now, and I'm not saying, well, the state would be fine if we had indulgences, but we don't even get that courtesy. Like, I can't go pay in advance $100 and they'd be like, well, we'll ignore your pot smoking for the month. Good job, buddy. Wouldn't that be great?
Well,
like, modern indulgences?
Isn't that what licensing is? And isn't that what a medical marijuana permit is? Isn't that what a concealed carry permit is?
Yeah, I suppose it is. Yeah, isn't it? Yeah, there you go.
It's the new church selling you forgiveness in advance for a limited period of time.
Damn,
wow. I'm on fire today, aren't I?
That's deep. Yeah, there you go. Man. That's that shit you was talking about. That's that new type of shit right there.
Yeah, so let's go back to the man. We can praise me later. Let's go back to talking about the word the man. in a way, I think that it makes sense that it meant your heroin dealer, because if the man is the establishment that has control over you, your heroin dealer, when you're a heroin addict, has a lot of control over you.
Yeah.
Like I'm you. This thing, think about the song "The Pusher Man," by Isaac Hayes before he became chef and a Scientologist.
Did he become a Scientologist? That was Chef.
That was Chef.
Right? Chef was Chef. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cue up Pusher Man and play a little bit of that by Isaac Hayes. If we're gonna go full on CISPA bait here. This song says, "I'm your mother, I'm your father." Let's see, what are the words here?
Actually, I have it as being from Curtis Mayfield.
You're right. What did Isaac Hayes do? Shaft. Theme to Shaft.
Yep.
Yeah, sorry. Okay.
Do you want me to play some Pusher Man anyway?
Yeah, man. Jump into it, like to the chorus or something. Let it go.
Want some coke, have some weed. You know me, I'm your friend, your main boy, thick and thin. I'm your pusher man. I'm your pusher man.
That's dope, man. God, that's dope. Eminem has a song where he uses that as the chorus, but he changes the drugs to be more modern. You there, Mikkel? I think he went on a break. Okay, we'll continue with Curtis Mayfield, Pusher Man, from the Superfly soundtrack.
Worms. Yeah. Skeet.
Skeet. Yeah, I was saying that's really dope. In fact, Eminem has a song on his first album where he uses that same chorus, but he changes the words for modern drugs.
But think about it. It says, "I'm your mother, I'm your father." I mean, how much more authoritative is that? The drug, the provider of the drug becomes... which is why the government wants to take over pharmaceuticals and food and everything else and power and cars and everything that you can't live without.
They want to be who you go to whenever you need anything.
They want to be your pusher man.
You got to go through them first. Yeah.
They want to be your federal family, man. That's the phrase they use.
It is.
Because feds has a bad name now because people, so it's that thing of 1984ing the language. They say, we're your federal family. We're not the feds.
Yeah. Speaking of that they want you on a leash, like Henry Rollins said in that clip. I actually watched that yesterday because I was thinking of chopping that part where he says, "I bet my dick," and using that as one of the Morning Zoo Crew things.
Where he said he'd bet his dick that
Ron Paul wouldn't be elected
because Americans are too smart.
Yeah,
but I really
kept his dick.
I really think "I bet my dick" should be a clip. I really should.
It was the audio wasn't great because the dude just recorded it with a little handy cam, and there's so much ambient noise. I guess I could EQ it. And
I think you should
some noise cancellation.
Recreate it, man. Recreate it.
That's what I was saying. I was saying when you impersonated him on the cast, it actually sounded better than when Henry Rollins said it in the video.
Okay, but here it goes. I bet my dick. It doesn't sound like Rollins, but it's angry.
It's better because when he said it, he said it kind of goofily. He was like, "Oh, I bet my dick" or something. He wasn't on point with it. Like it wasn't like he had thought of it ahead of time or something. Although clever. And watching that whole clip, I was thinking, man. I mean, I guess I could tell. Yeah, it's that. I can tell he's clever and he's got a way with words, but that doesn't mean he's smart. That doesn't mean he's got it figured out. You could tell he was just going through talking points, and it almost felt like he was just this way, not from any thought, not like he had come to his conclusions from long introspections, but just because it was his status quo, because he's been doing this for so long.
Because he's a musician from California, man.
Right, and he makes his living doing this. I mean, it's his living to go around saying these same similar things. So during the interview, it didn't feel like any of this was, thinking on the fly or spouting off things that he had really thought of and was trying to convince you of. No, it just felt like he was doing a bit that he does to make money, like he's a street performer.
Yeah, I mean, he is smart, but he does not have it figured out. And we've talked a lot about very smart people who are very wrong most of the time. His thing is Republicans are so repugnant to him that he's like, well, the opposite must be good.
Yeah. But then again, you make the fallacy of saying the Democrats are the opposite. I mean,
yeah.
How is that at all logical? If they want the same things, they're not the opposite. Just because one is red and one is blue that's not an opposite. That's not a true antonym.
Yeah. So back to the man and other uses of the term the man. I'd say Rollins has become the man. He never replied. I was thinking I kind of wanted to debate him or have him on Anarchy Gumbo, and I'm like, man, I am not that good at debating, but Stefan Molyneux is.
You wanted Molyneux to debate him?
Yeah, actually, what I was thinking was I'd kind of been bashing Rollins' statism on Cast on and off for a while, and I was like, eventually he's going to hear about this and write me and challenge me. And then I was like, well, since you have challenged me to do a duel, sir, under the laws of dueling, I can have my second take my place in my stead. And I was thinking that would be Stefan Molyneux, but I did it preemptively. I wrote to Molyneux and said, check this guy out, Rollins. He's really popular. He knows who Rollins is. He mentioned that in the interview I did with him. And I said, do you want me to try to set up a debate with you and him? Status versus non-statist, and he's like, yeah. And I wrote Rollins an email and have not heard back, and it's been about 2 weeks. I don't think he's going to write back.
No, I don't think so.
I know his email address. I've communicated with him before. I've interviewed him in person. He knows me. We're not friends, but he knows me well enough that he would look at an email from me and read it.
Yeah. Has Henry Rollins ever done a debate? I mean, I kind of feel like maybe he doesn't feel like he could win a debate.
Maybe not. I don't know. He does tend to just strongly and aggressively state his point.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think that's his modus operandi, is to do a debate or to actually use logic against an opponent. I feel like it's just his version of macho libertarian Flash, but from a liberal angle.
I'm looking for Henry Rollins debate on Google and not finding much,
too.
man.
Yep. I didn't find anything. There's a lot of spoken word of him. There's a lot of him giving speeches, but I don't see him ever having a counterpoint being made against him.
I've seen him debate someone who's not there. I've seen him on his short-lived TV show, the Rollins Show or whatever it was called, on Independent Film Channel a few years back. He would do what I would consider like an open letter to somebody, he'd be like, Michelle Bachmann. This is before Michelle Bachmann was anybody knew, but George Bush, here's what I think of your policies, and yell at the camera for 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
That's his debate. As far as unless he wants to, step up and let me set up the fight of the century with him and Stefan Molyneux.
Send him a clip of this. Send him a clip of us bashing him and not debating him, and see if it'll make him of us being hypocrites, and see if it'll make him want to debate us or Stefan.
Nah, yeah, I'm sure there's somebody listening that can send out if he wants, but basically, I'm a professional and I don't do things that way. If I make a request to somebody and they ignore it, that's their answer. And he may come back with it. I mean, I thought Richard Stallman was done with me 10 days ago, and he just wrote another, hey, maybe we could work this out, as if we had just been, the 10 days between hadn't existed. So
if you do end up debating Stallman, what buzz, right? I mean, that's great.
Stallman,
to build that up.
I don't think Stallman wants to debate, but at this point, if we're going to talk, there's going to be some debate. I've sent him.
There would be a debate.
I've sent him what I've said about him,
Yeah.
I not that I want to argue with him or even that I would need to talk about these things, but
you have disagreements with him, and he would be on your show.
Let me hang on. I'm going to go more Conan Central parenthetical, out of the box. I don't even know there's a box than you're thinking. I have no desire to interview somebody who's been interviewed 100 times stating what they believe and how they think the world should work. There are 100 interviews of Stallman out there where you can go find that. I want to take it in a different direction. And if that direction is refuting everything that's the basic foundation of what he believes and why he thinks he's on this earth, then that's going to be it. But I have no desire to have Richard Stallman come on and say, please explain to me why you call it GNU, not Linux. And what was your role in inventing this? And how do you feel about the word, I mean, all that would come up, but it's like that interview exists. I want to do something different.
Well, so what would be your first meaty question?
How do you sleep at night? On a pile of Bitcoin. On a pile of Bitcoin with Dungeons and Dragons characters falling asleep next to me.
There you go. A pile of Bitcoin.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, a hard drive below my pillow.
He probably has a complaint about Bitcoin. I don't know.
Maybe. All I know is I'm stacking mad Bitcoin.
Are you?
No, not really.
So we're coming up on, we got like 15 minutes left in the show, or an hour and 15 minutes? It's gone by so quick, I don't know.
I think it's just 15 minutes, man. Yeah, we're in the last segment here.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a good show so far.
Yeah. So let's give out the number on October 4th.
I don't know if I like taking calls in the last 15 minutes of a show.
F those people. I'm turning it off. Oh, I had it turned down. Maybe someone did call. I don't know. F those people. I'm kidding.
Yes, you're kidding. Michael is joke.
I love those fiends,
joke, man.
especially when they give us donations, which they should do more of.
Yes, we love them. Donate, fiends, donate. Yeah. So is our circle concentric by this point?
I don't know, because I used to listen to a lot of Henry Rollins spoken word stuff, and it's great. I mean, like hour-long shows, 2-hour shows. And there was one that used to really bug me, and I didn't know why. And I went and listened to it a few more times, and it was like he starts a story at one point and never finishes it. So I've always tried, because of that, to finish what I start, no matter how many wormholes I go down. So I think we got a little bit more on the word "the man."
The man. Okay. So Hamilton, the Pusha Man. What about the new century? What about the new millennia and 2000s man? What do you have to say about that?
Well, the man is also a praise, like you, the man. Which, if someone ever says
that's pretty new. That's fairly recent.
I'm gonna be like, no, I'm not.
Why not? Because you're not the man.
I'm not the man.
Yeah. Don't Be a Menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood. There's this guy who's actually called the man, who's like a sniper and goes around killing black people who are famous and rich. And he kills somebody there, and they go, the man, when they see him kill somebody. And he opens up a little notebook and he crosses it out. And there's like other names on the list, like Michael Jackson and various.
So the man is literally a man keeping them down by shooting
them down. Literally. Yeah.
I'm drinking one of those Starbucks Insta double shot in a tiny little can thing that's like shooting meth. I wonder if Starbucks would sponsor us. Like, hi, this is Michael Dean from the Freedom Feens, and Starbucks double shots give me the power to overthrow the government. I mean, we wouldn't say that.
I don't do drugs unless it's Starbucks.
We don't overthrow the government, but I wonder if, like, Starbucks double shots give me the power to rail against the man.
Yeah. We don't overthrow the government, but we wish somebody else would.
We applaud while it destroys itself, man.
That's it. Yeah, we laugh while it collapses by its own inconsistency. Collapses.
Yeah. It's so weird that like the man has turned anti-government into a curse. I guess it's kind of always been one, but it's like if you don't believe this giant, aggressive, violent fiction that's shoved down your throat, you're somehow a bad person. How effed up is that, man?
Well, it's obvious, though. I mean, it's because if you don't believe the fiction, it doesn't exist. The fiction is what keeps it going. And isn't that kind of strange in a weird way? Like, it's the fact that you believing in the fiction makes it real, like fairies or guardian angels or something. Or what was that Peter Pan thing? An angel gets its wings. Yeah, if you believe in it.
Angel Gets Its Wings is from It's a Wonderful Life, isn't it?
I don't know, man. I'm mixing my metaphors here. I'm sorry.
Every time you hear a bell, an angel gets its wings.
Yeah. What was the thing in Peter Pan where they had to clap or believe in order for... Maybe it was to believe it and then you could fly.
I don't know, man. I didn't go over to Michael Jackson's house as a young boy.
No Never Land for you.
He's the man, the creepy man. You can't say that. That's Michael Jackson. He's the king of pop.
He is, man. He is. I guess I go back to the Ben...
Thriller.
Well, it's like the Ben Stone thing, man. I mean, if your mechanic fixes your car awesomely at a good price, are you going to care what he does at home? Probably not. You're going to care what his political beliefs are? Probably not. I mean, wasn't
the man also the term slaves used for the slave driver?
I don't know. I don't know, man.
It would make sense the way it's used now. Yeah,
it would, but I haven't seen any evidence to that. That doesn't mean, absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence.
If anybody should have rejected the government before anybody else, it's black people. I mean, think about the horrors done to black people by the United States government. But, starting in the 50s, they're all like, oh, the government needs to help us, I don't know. The government needs to fix this or that. And blacks turn out in huge numbers to vote for politicians that promise them stuff. So do whites. But I just thought blacks were smarter than that.
I don't know. I feel like that's kind of racist because there are a lot of blacks that are anti-government. I mean, that's one of the reasons I love hip-hop so much is because it's talking about fuck the feds, fuck the FBI, fuck the cops, fuck the man.
Do you think those people still vote?
Fuck the crackers who are damning us.
Do you think any of those people still vote, the ones who aren't non-voting felons?
I guess some of them do.
Some of them rock the vote, man. Who was in Rock the Vote?
Well, I don't know about Rock the Vote, but I know Puff P. Diddy or whatever the hell he calls himself now had Vote or Die.
He's probably a Republican. He's so rich, man. He has to be, wouldn't he?
Yeah. And then I was really disappointed in Bun B because Bun B was doing some kind of, one of those voter registration things. I hate it when radio or media personalities do that. Like the whole, we don't care who you vote for as long as you vote. Come get registered to vote. We'll be coming around your town with our van and we'll give you free ice cream if you register to vote.
Register to steal. To join our gang that will steal for you.
Yeah. And Bun B is like one of my favorite rappers ever and from UGK, and he's got some great verses, totally ragging on the Bush administration. I haven't heard a word from him talking about the same things Obama's doing. Obama's doing the same shit you hated.
Cue up Dick Riding Obama.
Oh, yeah. Excellent.
I hope there's not an ad at the beginning of it. We got a couple more minutes here. Remember, we got to play our outro in the last, is it 30-second outro or 60-second outro?
It is 60 seconds for the outro, 30 seconds for the intro. Okay, here is Dick Ridin' Obama, I believe.
Which is a takeoff on it.
Got up this morning, things weren't working right. I said I wanna make a change, I said I wanna fight. Obama walked up and said, yes, we can. I said I wanna ride your nuts, cause I think you're the man. Now I'm Dick Ridin' Obama, Obama. Now I'm Dick Ridin' Obama, Obama. Now I'm Dick Ridin' Obama, Obama. Now I'm Dick Ridin'.
Dick riding for tomorrow, Dick riding for today, Dick riding for the straight, Dick riding for the gay, Dick riding for America, Dick riding for rock. It's okay to ride that dick, just as long as it's Barack's. And now we're Dick riding Obama, Obama. Now we're Dick riding Obama, Obama. Now we're Dick riding Obama, Obama. Now we're Dick riding.
Got up this morning, things weren't working right. I said I wanna make a change, I said I wanna fight. Obama walked up and said, yes, we can. I said I wanna ride your nuts, cause I think you're the man. Now I'm Dick Ridin' Obama, Obama. Now I'm Dick Ridin' Obama, Obama. Now I'm Dick Ridin' Obama, Obama. Now I'm Dick Ridin'.
Yeah.
Dick Ridin'.
Dick Ridin' Obama. I want to ride your nuts because I think you're...
Because I think you're the man.
The man. Yeah, speaking of the man.
That's full circle, baby.
Yeah.
That's full circle. Yeah, Obama is the man. So
yeah.
If you think contrary, please reconsider and stop Dick Ridin' and stop snitching too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stop voting, man.
Yeah, seriously.
Voting is just, choosing between who's going to beat you. It's not saying you won't get beaten
not cool at
if
all.
you don't
not
vote,
cool
but at least you have a good conscience about it while they beat you. You'll say, I didn't do this.
I have a longtime childhood friend who he's pretty liberal, although he doesn't like the situation as it stands. He doesn't really like the status quo, but he thinks that statism will fix it. He thinks that it's just a system that needs to be fixed, and he posted something
they all
to the
think
effect
that,
of,
man.
Yeah, they do. They do. But he posted something to the effect of, changing the cherry on top of the sundae from a red one to a blue one won't make a big difference. Vote in your local election as local as you can get and change the people on the ground floor.
Okay, can I vote only for my property and keep everyone else off?
There you go. And I
would vote
retorted
that locally.
I retorted, what if I think Sundays are bad for me and I don't want to eat the fatty, sugary Sunday?
Well, remember, the Feens diet. I've lost 19 pounds in 6 weeks while eating yummy food. And when I hit 20, I started my blog post. When I hit 20, which will probably be next couple days, 20 pounds lost, I'm posting it. I'm posting that shit.
Yeah, post it.
I really like some of the comments here in the comments. People are, they're kind of like doing our job for us. They're like posting links to what we're talking about. I want to thank the people doing that.
You talking about in the No Agenda chat?
Yeah.
Yeah. I liked the chat room, man. You were kind of on the fence about whether we use it or not.
I wasn't on the fence about it. I was on the fence about combining it with everything else we had to do on our first show. But now that we've mastered this live radio format, I think we're good. I could juggle and read this and read.
It was a really smooth second show, especially since we added so many new features. I was kind of worried that it wouldn't go off without a hitch, but so far I think it has. The only hitch was we didn't simulcast today, but because I was trying to figure out a new way to simulcast, and that didn't quite work out. But we'll get it next week.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. There's 4 people on our stream, so they're listening to something else. They're listening to Michael Dean's birthday podcast extravaganza.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it seems like we get more calls when we're on the LRN show, so maybe we still simulcast for the LRN show and just do it as we always have.
Oh, we'll be doing this simulcast at some point. Although, can you do it with the computers you have, or do you need more computers?
I can. I've got 2 operational that I can use, and I've actually got a third since my wife is actually doing her day job all day, every day now. I have 3 at my disposal. So yeah, simulcasting should be...
That's all? You're poor. You're only using 3 computers? Man.
Just
like
3?
I'm sorry. You need computer stamps from the government. I have at least 5 running at most times when we're podcasting.
Yeah.
One's Linux, too. One's Linux.
There's 5 in the house, but... 2 of them are my brother-in-law. So, I mean, I guess I could ask him if I really needed them, but I think 3 is enough, man. I mean, right now, 1's enough. I'm not even using the second computer.
Hey, it's 46 degrees out. That's too cold to ride down to UPS on a bike, isn't it?
Nah, man. Not if you're wearing some sweats, and plus, when you go out and get active. I mean,
yeah.
Have you ever been skiing? When you go skiing, it's 30 degrees, and you don't get cold.
Yes. So, you get that thing queued up there, though, right? For our outro, our wonderful outro.
Whenever we're ready, I mean...
MC Chore Boy. That's got to be timed. That's got to be timed.
Exactly 30 seconds before.
No, it's 60 seconds. It's 60 seconds, the outro.
60, you're right. Yep. Yeah. Okay, let me...
So at 4:29, exactly 4:29, that's got to start. And it's 4:27 in 29 minutes. So in 2 minutes... Yeah.
Okay. Yep. I'm looking at the seconds. I'm counting down, and you can look too.
Why are you MC Chore Boy and I'm DJ Silencer? Explain that.
Chore Boy is like a Brillo pad kind of thing, like steel wool that crackheads use as a filter in their crack pipes. I don't know why I'm MC Chore Boy, but apparently I have some relation to crack pipes.
I just liked it. We just came up with it one day, and I like DJ Silencer is a lot cooler. In a way.
Because it's oxymoronic.
Yeah, it's the man would use that. Oh yeah, I like the yeah, I get it too. Like the DJ being silenced. Yeah. Well, I actually really like the name of the guy, Dead Mike. On it's a good rap name on what's the hip hop Spinal Tap kind of movie? CB4.
Yeah.
Dead Mike's a great. You didn't get the double entendre in that.
It's been a while since I've seen CB4.
Candy Alexander. You're asking who Candy Alexander in there. She plays a hip hop groupie in there.
Yep. I IMDb'd her, and I totally know her face. I'm really good. Like, I can spot a face and recognize it, and I know who they are. I'm just bad with names. I guess I'm a visual person. I'm an audio person, too. I guess I'm just not a name person. I don't like labels.
I want to read a quick letter here, and you can start when it's time. Hi, I'm working through a bunch of Anarchy Gumbo, an excellent way to leach the state Kool-Aid out of my brain. I'm currently listening to you and Bad Quaker talk about liberty in our lifetime. I'd really like to hear you two podcasting together more. I really enjoy listening to the Gumbo, the Feens, and Bad Quaker. Seems like y'all and Ben really mesh well together. Mark, Ontario, California, Canada.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, Ben is like our best friend in Liberty Media.
Ben is like my best friend. I mean, I love the guy. And
hey, we gotta play this. We gotta play this.
It's been a great Feens. Thanks, everybody.
The Freedom Feens are the one true path to anarchist liberation, but it's a good one. If you want to put your voluntarist money where your mouth is, consider making a donation to the Freedom Feens. Go to freedomfeens.com and click on the spinning coin on any post. Then make a one-time gift via PayPal or set up a monthly contribution of as little as $3. Giving to the Freedom Feens helps advance education of horizontal liberation throughout the world. The Freedom Feens. We work hard, so send us some money.
Thank you for listening to the Freedom Feens Agenda. We'll be back streaming live every Thursday from 3:30 to 5:30 p.m. East Coast U.S. time on Adam Curry's No Agenda Global Radio. MP3 archives of all Freedom Feens episodes are available free at freedomfeens.com. That's freedomfeens.com. Worms.